Product on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show, it's out of control.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP show, and I am back here again tonight. No, you guys aren't tired of seeing the EVP's face. Just got done about 2 hours ago with Miami the Great, breaking down week 15 of the NFL Recap Show. So NXT just went off the air. And so I figured I would start a little bit early tonight because I actually have 2 days off. I mean, this is just so good. Like, you guys just don't have any idea, like, how great it is to be able to make your own schedule and already have, every one of my streams planned out for next week, except for SmackDown, because SmackDown doesn't ever want to fucking put the posters out. But, yeah, I have 2 days off after today. Got to get ready for the fantasy playoffs. And this is, I had 3 really busy weeks in a row. I'm kind of enjoying it, though, because, I know, once the new year gets here, it's going to be fucking hectic. I did confirm today that I'm going to have both members of the Wrestling Divas podcast, Lady Alpha and Autumn, on for the Royal Rumble predictions. So I'm looking possibly if Michael and Tori also want to come on, or Miami and Final Boss Lady. We can have just one big, huge ass panel here on the EVP show. Yeah. So how have you guys been doing tonight? I do have to send a text in the middle of the stream, so I do apologize. But yeah, what did you guys think of NXT? I was just talking about you. How you doing, Lady Alpha? Shout out to Lady Alpha from the Wrestling Divas podcast. Shout out to Wild Child Billy. I can't watch NXT Wild till tomorrow, so I can watch it on CW. Happy for Thea Hell, though. Absolutely. Yeah, it was crazy. That was very crazy. But yeah, I was just talking about you. Lady Alpha. I just made the announcement that that you and Autumn from the Wrestling Divas podcast, I don't have the time made because we're a long ways away, but I already have you guys penciled in for the Royal Rumble prediction show, which is going to be great because I'd love to be able to get both people that's running a podcast on a prediction show. Also, I'm going to reach out to Michael and Tori as well. And I also let Miami and Final Boss Lady know as well. Because I could fit up to 8-10 people on here. So yeah, I'd be pumped to have everybody on here. Let's see. I hope to be a guest or do a podcast someday. They'll listen to your stuff. Yeah, anytime. Just hit me up. I do 4 shows a week. If you ever want to come on for, a recap show or anything, just hit me up. I always do the recaps by myself. And then obviously prediction shows. Usually I'm booked up with people, but if not, then yeah, for sure, definitely. Yes, I am super excited. This will be Lady Alpha's 3rd time on the EVP show. She is becoming a regular. I hope to come on the Wrestling Divas podcast when they start doing guests. But I think Lady Alpha will be tied for the lead for the most times on the EVP show. So yeah. Second, I'm not sure what that means. Deserve the belt. Yeah, it was a botch. She deserved it, but it was a botch. I don't think it's gonna last very long, honestly. Second, I'm not sure what you mean by second, Lady Alpha. It won't be your second time. It'll be your third time. He came on for NXT Deadline. He also came on for Survivor Series, and then you also came on for and then Royal Rumble. So that will be your third time to come on to the show, which is awesome. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna message Michael and let him know if they want to come on. If you want to tell them, yeah, you've been on twice already. This will be your third time. I'm letting him know right now because I will forget because I'm super tired. So yeah, it would be super cool to get like a huge panel. I'm gonna let him know that I sent him a DM. Obviously, you talk to him more than I do, Lady Alpha, so you can let him know that I sent him a DM. Yeah, I mean, I told Miami. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't get a chance to tune into you guys' show. Me and Miami's NFL shows go for like ever. I think we went from like 6 to like right before 8 o'clock, or a little bit after. So like I missed the very first part of NXT. I had to get a shot today too, so I was a little under the weather today. So not feeling super duper great. But I'm here, so hopefully everything. Definitely be a guest. Everyone will. I'm going to. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I hate it that you guys haven't been able to watch NXT. So you guys really are kind of gonna get spoiled. And man, it is this whoever this person I'm facing in this poll. Like I've never lost a poll. And they've had the title for like 7-8 months. Like it's like 50. When I was getting a shot, it was like 92-8. They were beating me, and then like I started hitting up on my people, and now it's like 51-49. So you guys retweeting it, I definitely appreciate it. The Wise Man, if you could retweet it as well. Trying to bring this championship home to DWE and Gimmick Table Media. It's my debut on whatever this is. So I'm trying to take that title. Because this person's had the title too long. Time to come home to DWE. But they're definitely tough to beat. There's been almost 80 votes already, and we're like pretty much like tied. It's like 51-49. I was up for 54-46 earlier, and then they had somebody quote tweet for them. It's like 10 quote tweets already, so it's crazy. A lot of support on both sides, which is great. You will definitely be a guest. Everyone from Gimmick Table Media will be. Yes, awesome. Can't wait. I love going on other people's shows, just because then I don't have to do all the talking and I can just give my insight, and that's that. So Wise Man said, thought it was good. Think Hell deserved the belt. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna get to that. It looks like there's a botch on the referee. Because if you go back and watch the playback, like Blake was like looking up. I'll talk about it when we get to the match, but Blake was like looking up and her music even come on. So like, and then obviously like I started talking to people. And then next thing you know, TC from WrestleMania reported that it was a botch. And then Fightful, South also reported as well. So I don't know what they're gonna do about it. I'm sure it's gonna be a rematch, but yeah, we'll get to it. So let's get started tonight. We don't have many people in. So yeah, it's okay. But a lot of people don't watch NXT, but it's cool. So tonight's NXT is going to be from the Capitol Wrestling Center. Obviously, that's the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. 2 matches that was advertised. We're gonna have we saw the Fatal 4-Way to determine who's gonna face Obafemi at New Year's Evil, and then again, I was super surprised on who won. I guess they're continuing this NXT TNA invasion stuff. I was like super shocked at who won. I was thinking Miles Bourne or Deion Lennox, but wasn't the case. Shout out to the wise man of DWE for reposting the stream. We only had 3 viewers. Tis the season. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on today. We had a pretty good bit in the NFL show, but NXT is usually pretty hopping in here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on tonight. Maybe there's another show going on. I'm not sure. So we're gonna see the Fatal 4-Way with Dark Stage Deion Lennox, Miles Bourne, Joe Henry, and TNA X Division champion, the youngest in charge, Leon Slater. We're gonna battle each other for a #1 contender match to go on to New Year's Evil to face Obafemi. We're also going to see the Glamour, Blake Monroe, defend her women's NXT North American Championship against Dia Hell, which was really interesting. So basically, the show kind of opens up with a video package recapping this past weekend Saturday Night Main Event special and Javon Evans match against WWE Champion Obafemi. We then see Javon Evans waiting for Ricky Saints in the parking lot, and NXT General Manager Ava tells him to go inside, but Evans says he is going to wait for Ricky. So now we're seeing that heel side of Ricky Saints that Lady Alpha and Michael was talking about on the Deadline prediction show. Sorry, guys, I'm drinking so much water. Like, I'm so, like, dehydrated. It's, like, crazy. But, yeah, he's waiting on Ricky, so chaos has already started. So we got Vic Joseph and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T welcome us to the show. And the women's NXT North American champion, the Glamour, Blake Monroe, makes her way down to the ring for the first match, as she'll be defending the title against Dia Hill. So the match starts off basically with Dia going for the wrist, but Blake sends her into the turnbuckle. Dia hits a snapmare, and she works on the arm with a splash. I'm going to kind of go match by match because it's a 2-hour show, and there wasn't but 4 or 5 matches, so it shouldn't be too bad tonight. Dia then gets a near fall. Dia cinches an armbar. Blake hits a snapmare, and she drop kicks Dia and kicks her into the corner. Blake then hits an Irish whip and a spinning side slam for a near fall. Dia then hits a snapmare and a kick to the chest, followed by a moonsault and another near fall. So a lot of near falls in the beginning of this match. Dia cinches in an armbar and hits a wheelbarrow into an arm drag. She drop kicked Blake Monroe to the floor. Dia then hits a suicide dive, and she sends Blake back into the ring. Dia then hits an exploder, then hits an elbow into the corner, but Blake sends her into the turnbuckle. Blake then goes to the turnbuckle and applies a cross arm breaker into the ropes. Blake then slams the arm into the mat and stomps on it. So then Blake hits the suplex, and she gets almost about 2 3/4 near fall. Blake kicks Dia, but Dia hits some punches. Blake then cinches an arm breaker, another near fall. Dia locks her hands when Blake goes for the crossed arm breaker. Dia then rolls over to get a near fall. Blake then hits some kicks and cinches in a Cobra clutch. Cobra clutch. I'm sorry. Blake then put her in a body scissors. Thea escapes. Blake then hit a short arm clothesline for a near fall. Blake with some more punches, then hits another short arm clothesline. She returns to the Cobra clutch. Thea then hits a headbutt and some clothesline, followed by a standing power slam and a somersault senton. Thea then hits a springboard coffin drop for the 1, 2, 3. So let's talk about this. So she got the pinfall, but to me, it looked like, I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch, but Blake either got her shoulder up or the referee just kept counting. I think it was the latter. I think the referee just kept counting. It was 1,000,000% a botch. Thea was not supposed to win the title tonight. Because like Blake was looking around like, what the hell is going on? And and then like the referee's even looking around like, what just happened here? And then Blake's music hit. So like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but obviously later in the show, Blake confronts Thea. She wants a rematch. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna put the title back on Blake because that was 100% a botch. But as of now, the winner and new WWE NXT Women's North American Champion is Thea Hill. After the match, we see a replay, and there might have been a shoulder up, as I said. The like Blake Monroe rolled that shoulder, so the referee just went ahead and counted. So we're gonna get a rematch. The ref completely botched it, and I don't think it was purposely either. So then we go to the back where Shawn Spears tells Izzy Dane that Tatum Paxley probably cried 1,000 tears. They then see a gift from Tatum. Izzy says Tatum needs to move on because they have. The mind games have already started. Tatum Paxley is watching the Cullen. So, as I said last week on the NXT recap, I love the story that they're telling here with Izzy Dane and the Cullen and Tatum Paxley. It looks like it's far from being over with. So, I love the route that they're going here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this unfolds. I think we possibly could see Tatum get involved next week when Izzy Dane goes one-on-one with Lola Vice on NXT next week. Some big matches on NXT next week. We're going to see. I'll get to it later on, but we're going to see a couple of LFG stars tag up. Which Danny Ray, somebody that I've spoken with several times, the personal DMs. Super nice lady. So happy that she's in NXT, getting some screen time. So yeah, and Shallow Hill, like looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do next week. So we then see the men's North American champion. Appreciate it, wise man. Walking in the backstage area. Now, let's not forget, he's also one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Champions with the WWE Women's SmackDown United States Champion, 2-time SmackDown United States Champion. Let's not forget that. Chelsea Green. So Ethan makes his way to the ring. Ethan grabs a mic and starts off by saying he is absolutely appalled that the wrestling world is more concerned which champions quit when their coworker retired than a champion being attacked from behind. Ethan then says that same champion with a back so strong he can carry an industry. Ethan then says that back was almost broken, but why doesn't anyone care? Ethan then asks why he was attacked. Ethan then says just plain jealousy is what it was. Ethan says it is because he is the foundation of NXT. He says it is because he left every other North American title reign in the back. Ethan says he does not care and wants answers. Ethan then tells Tony D to bring his ass to the ring. But he doesn't get Tony D. We get Channing and Lorenzo comes out. The newest power couple is what they call themselves. It makes his way out with Santino's daughter, Ariana Grace. Stax Lorenzo says he doesn't know what Tony's problem is, and he doesn't give a damn. Lorenzo then says he cares about people getting on your level and being a champion of other companies. Stax then says his queen is carrying his international title. So Stax is, I guess, the TNA international champion. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me in the comments, but I believe that is what it is. Lorenzo says his girl asked for more gold. Ethan then says this is what he was talking about. He then says zero decorum to interrupt him. Lorenzo then says those tag titles would look so good around their waist. So Shannon Tax and Ariana Grace have their sights set on the Lucha Libre Mixed Tag Team Championships. Will they get a match with Ethan and Chelsea? We will come to find out. But here we go again. Somebody else interrupting. We get Moose from TNA. Moose makes his way out and he walks up to Channing. He says an NXT talent has a TNA championship. Moose then says the boys in TNA are pissed. Moose then says he is here to do something about it. Moose then tells Channing someone is going to deal with him and this is your lucky day. Moose then says he is laser focused on Ethan Page and that stops Ethan in his tracks. Moose then says he is here to take one of NXT's most prestigious titles back to TNA with him. So this TNA NXT invasion continues. Obviously with the main event result tonight and all these champions going back and forth between TNA and NXT. Ethan then says there are rules and Moose will have to talk to Ava. Moose then says Ava and Santino have agreed that they will meet on December 30th. So not this coming up. Let's see, what's today? The 18th. December 30th. That can't be right. Today's the 8th. Wait. Today's the 7th. What is today? Today's the 16th? Hell, I don't even. Yeah. So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after next. Moose will go one-on-one with Ethan Page for the Men's North American Championship on December 30th, close to New Year's Eve. We then head to the back where Leon Slater tells Javon to join him inside to be at ringside with him for the match. Javon says he will be there. Leon then says Ricky might not even be here tonight. Evans then says he was a second away from becoming the champion. So then we get the next match on one of my favorite tag teams in NXT. Hank and Tank make their way down to the ring for their next match of the night, and they're going to be followed by OTM. So the tag match is going to be Hank and Tank, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger versus OTM, Lucien Price, and Bronco Nima. The match starts off with Tank and Nima, and both men lock up. Nima then pushes Tank into the corner. Tank then cinches in a waist lock, and Nima hits a back elbow and a shoulder tackle. Hank then tags in and applies a side headlock. Hank then shakes his belly to distract Nima while Tank applies a side headlock. Hank and Tank are funny. Price then hits a knee, and Nima hits a stomp for a near fall. Tank then escapes a slam and gets a hot tag to Hank. Hank then hits a splash, and Tank hits a shoulder tackle from the turnbuckles for a near fall. So Tank tagged back in. He goes to the turnbuckles, and he touches his belly again. It's a double sledge. Tank then works on the arm. So then, while this match is going on, they show this black vehicle pull up in the back, arrives in the parking lot, and is surrounded. Wonder who it could be. Tank then tags in, and they work on the arms. Tank then hits an Irish whip and a splash. Hank then tags in, and he hits a splash into the corner. Price then hits a hip toss and a chop. Nima then tags in. They then hit a double back elbow, and Nema gets a near fall. Tank then tags in, and they hit a double splash on Nema, and they hip toss Price. Hank and Tank then hit some punches on the turnbuckles. Nema and Price then get them up for a super collider and a double sit-down power bomb. Hank and Tank are sent to the floor. Nema then sends Tank into the apron and hits a forearm to the back as he hangs over the apron, and Nema follows it with a boot to the head. Price then tags in and he punches Tank while Nema holds Tank. Price hits a slam. Tank then slaps Price, and Price hits some punches in the corner. So then we get a hot tag to Nema. Nema tags in, pulls Price off, and he punches Tank. Later on in the match, Tank hits a reversal, hits a boot on Nema. Then he hits a double arm DDT to counter the Uranagi. Hank then tags in and he kicks Nema and punches Price. Hank then hits an airplane spin into an F5 for almost a near fall. Brock Lesnar move right there. Tank then hits a suicide dive, goes up top, and Price hits a forearm. Price then goes up for a superplex, and he hits it. Nema and Tank then tag in, and Tank hits some forearms, and Nema hits some European uppercuts. So close to the end of the match, Nema then tags in, and they get Tank on their shoulders for a double Samoan drop for a near fall. So Tank is then sent to the floor, and Price tags in. They then set up for a double chokeslam onto the table, but Tank gets to the apron and hits a double cannonball. This match was really good. So then Hank then tags in, and they take their shirts off and set up for the Malachi Crunch. Nema then clotheslines Tank and Price and kicks Hank. Nema then tags in, and Hank hits a shoulder tackle on Price. Hank then gets an inside cradle for the 1, 2, 3, and your winners are Hank and Tank. Good to see them back on the winning side. So we go back to the parking lot where the door opens for that mystery vehicle. Let's see, just shared the live on my YouTube channel. Greg, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel, Greg. I'll have to subscribe to it. You have to send me the link. I didn't know you had one, buddy. Well, NXT was a great show. It was a great show for sure. I didn't know you had a YouTube channel though. So the mysterious vehicle in the back is Ricky Saints. He comes out. So then in the back we see Ava with LFG Season 1, men's LFG Season 1 winner Jasper Troy. And she talks about Ricky and Javon. Jasper Troy says he should have taken them both out. Ava then says there will be a new tournament to determine the number 1 contender for the Speed title. Troy then says whoever steps in the ring with him will be destroyed. Destruction is guaranteed. With that new number 1 contender on the horizon, WWE Speed Champion Jasper Troy is ready for his next opponent. Who could that be? So then the Absolute makes his way down to the ring. Ricky Saints. He grabs a mic and starts off by saying he is not out here to apologize. Ricky then says the day he set foot in the ring, he said he would bring in the Absolute Era. Ricky says he came to NXT to prove to the world that he is what he says he has been. Ricky then says he is a guy who can carry any brand. Ricky then says that is why he took the biggest gamble on himself. Ricky says he has no other options. He says to go forward, he had to be obsessed with being number 1. Ricky says everyone was searching for the man to beat Obafemi. Ricky then says that was him, and he did it. He said he's not out here to apologize. So Ricky says this is where it gets confusing. Ricky said you enjoyed it for a minute, but you really wanted someone else. Ricky then said you would have rather had Javon Evans beat Obafemi. Ricky then says no one cared about jumping in front of him for his title match. Ricky then says that is why he had to check Javon and remind his narrow ass he isn't the man until he says so. Ricky then says he has played safe before and he has been passed over and stepped on. He says no more. Ricky says he will get what he wants when he wants it. He says if he has to stab you in the back or in the chest, so damn be it. Ricky tells Evans to wait his turn. Ricky then says he had to wait for his. Ricky says, are you trying to say that Javon is better than him? Ricky then says, how many titles has Javon Evans won? He's basically saying why he had to check the young OG. He said he's the only guy at the top. Ricky says when he allows Javon to step in the ring with him, he will show that he is class below him. Ricky says he is tired of the popularity contest and that he is a real star and a main eventer. Ricky says he is not the wrong guy. Ricky says he is the right guy. And he says there ain't nobody who would do what it takes to get to the top like him. Ricky then says no one will go to the same lengths as him to stay on top. So Javon makes his way in, gets past security, and he attacks Ricky Saints in the ring. Evans then takes care of the security while they're trying to hold him back. Evans hits a splash, but Ricky nails Javon with a punch. Ricky then sends Evans shoulder first into the ring steps and punches Evan and hits him with the Rochambeau through the announce desk. So it looks like WWE is setting up a Ricky Saints versus Javon Evans at New Year's Evil. That's the direction that it looks like it's headed, in my opinion. So yeah, that should be a good one. We then see Ethan Page storm into Ava's office to complain about everything that's happened. Chelsea Green then shows up and she yells at Ava and says Ava is as bad as Nick and Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. So Ruka and Zarya is back there as well. So then asks Ava, how does she deal with this? Ava then tells Chelsea all of the bad things happening to her are not her fault. Ethan then asks about the Moose issue, and Ava says Ethan says he is the best. Ava then tells Ethan he will defend his NXT North American title in 2 weeks against Moose, but Chelsea Green will be defending her WWE Women's United States Championship next Tuesday against Sol Ruka. So next week on NXT, it's on my thumbnail. Chelsea Green will defend the WWE SmackDown United States Championship against Sol Ruka. Is this going to be when Sol gets called up? Is she going to beat Chelsea Green for the title? I think she may. So then we get the number one contender for the women's NXT champion and the women's Evolve champion, Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair make their way down to the ring for their next match of the night, followed by the Queen, JC Jane, the NXT champion, right behind me with the glasses. She's sitting at the commentary desk. So we're going to see Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair versus Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley and Laney Reed. The match starts off with Fallon and Reed attacking Gray and Ren, and they double team Gray and keep Ren on the floor. Reed then swings and misses when she goes after Ren on the apron. Gray then hits a leg sweep, and Ren senses in a chin lock, followed by a drop kick from Kendall Gray. Laney Reed then punches Ren, but Ren hits a back heel kick after Kendall Gray tags in. Kendall hits a German suplex for a near fall. Kendall senses in a front face lock and gets a gator roll for another near fall. So we get a hot tag to Ren Sinclair. Gray then hits a snapmare, and Ren goes for another near fall. So Laney Reed then kicks Ren, and Fallon Henley gets the tag. Ren then hits a punch and a butterfly suplex. Laney goes to the floor and JC stops Ren in her tracks. Laney Reed then misses a forearm, but Fallon hits a tiger feint kick around the ring post. Fallon then gets almost a near fall on Ren. Fallon stands on the ankle to keep Ren from moving. Fallon then hyperextends the leg. Laney Reed then tags in. She kicks Ren Sinclair and sends her into the mat. Laney Reed hits an elbow drop and a punch. Laney then goes for a suplex, but Ren gets an inside cradle for another near fall. Reed then hits an Irish whip and a backbreaker for another near fall. Fallon then tags in and Reed hits a snapmare. Fallon hits a forearm. Then Ren hits reverse, hits a forearm. Back and forth action here. Fallon then hits a double back elbow. Fallon then hits an Irish whip and a sliding German suplex. Reed then hits a slingshot cutter for a near fall. Reed then hits some elbows and she has some words for Kendall Gray. Reed then misses an elbow drop when Ren moves. Ren then kicks Reed away, but Fallon tags in and stops Ren from making the tag. Kendall Gray then tags in. She hits some back elbows. Gray then hits an overhead belly-to-belly throw on Reed. Gray then hits a slingshot double stomp on Laney, but Laney blocks a flatliner and Gray is sent into the turnbuckle. Fallon then tags in and gets almost another near fall. Fallon hits a splash to the back in the corner. Kendall Gray then hits a power slam for another fall, almost near fall there. Ren hits a belly to back suplex on Laney. So after that, Gray assisted in a cross arm breaker on Fallon and JC gets on the apron. Gray then punches JC Jane and Ren hits a cross body off the turnbuckles on Laney Reed and JC. Fallon then gets a roll up for a near fall. So the distraction almost cost Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair there. Gray then senses in a crossed arm breaker and Fallon Henley taps out. Wow, big win. But you know how it goes. WWE want one-on-one. If you're standing tall, you're not winning. Kendall Gray, I don't think, is beating JC Jane for that NXT championship. I don't think she's going to be a double champ. We'll see, but I don't think it's going to happen. So the winners of the match are the WWE Evolved Women's Champion, Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. So then, more controversy from the beginning of the show. We see Thea Hale in the back with Kelly Kincaid. Kelly congratulates Thea on her win. Thea then says she has been here since she was 18 and she's always wanted to be a champion. So Jordan Grace walks up, congratulates Thea and Thea tells Grace she has to be positive. So basically Jordan's like, you figured out a way to do it because Jordan hasn't been able to get that title from Blake. Grace then asks, so Blake Monroe comes up and then says she didn't lose because she kicked out. Grace then asks Blake to let Thea enjoy her victory, that she hasn't even been champion for 30 seconds. Blake then says she wants her rematch, and then Thea jumps on and squeezes Jordan Grace. She believed in herself and the world rewarded her. Thea Hale is the new Women's North American Champion and could possibly be the worst day of Blake Monroe's WWE life. So we then go to the back and we see Izzy Dame on the phone with Sean Spears and they're talking about where in the hell is Nico. She said it has to be Tatum. Lola Weiss then talked to Izzy about what she did to Tatum and says she would be careful. Lola putting her nose in there. She said Lola then talked to Izzy about what she did to Tatum, told her to be careful. So then Kalani Jordan, because all of them are back in the locker room, then shows up and says she is back. She says she knows what jealousy does to people. She says she is the best superstar in the locker room, and if she wasn't here, maybe you would be a champion. Lola then says MMA is better than gymnastics. So we're setting up a Lola versus Kalani coming up soon. So one of my favorite segments of the night, because I followed all of the LFG seasons. I did recaps on them on the EVP show, season 1 and season 2. The season 1 runner-up and season 2 winner, Shiloh Hill, and the season 2 ladies winner, Skylar Ray, otherwise known as Danny Ray. I still call her Danny Ray. They talk about their matches. Ariana Grace then says the tag title match was there, but Moose screwed it up. Shiloh then asked about a moose in Florida. Said, welcome to Florida. Like, Shiloh's just being goofy. Lorenzo then asked Hill if he needs to get his tooth fixed. Shannon then challenges them to a match next week. So next week, it looks like we're going to see Shannon Stacks and Ariana Grace going up against Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray. Looking forward to that. But as they're trying to make that official, Dark State walks like straight by them. So next week, we're going to see Shiloh and Skylar Ray go up against Stacks and Ariana Grace. Looking forward to that. So it's then announced that next week, Sol Ruka will face WWE SmackDown United States Women's Champion Chelsea Green next week. And also, Izzy Dame will face Lola Vice next week on NXT. And also, we're going to see Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray go up against Shannon Stacks and Ariana Grace. And on top of that, the Men's Speed Championship Tournament starts. It is then announced that at New Year's Evil, JC Jane will defend her NXT Women's Championship against Kendall Gray. So we're going to get ready for the main event of the evening. It's the Fatal 4-Way to determine who will go on to face Obafemi at New Year's Evil. Miles Bourne makes his way down to the ring for the main event, followed by TNA's Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, and Dion Lennox. Fatal 4-Way. It's a really good match. It's the TNA X Division champion, Leon Slater. So with him winning this match, is he going to be going for 2 belts? A lot of people going for 2 belts. So the match starts off with Dion kicking Miles, and he sends Leon into Joe. Dion Lennox hits a slam on Leon for a near fall. Miles Bourne then avoids a belly-to-back suplex, and he punches Lennox. Miles then hits a reverse DDT on Joe as he avoids a Dion clothesline. Miles then hits a power slam on Dion for a near fall. Leon then hits a kick on Miles. Miles blocks the kick, and Leon sends Miles Bourne into Joe Hendry. Joe then hits a double clothesline on Miles and Leon. Joe then hits a headbutt on Leon and an Irish whip, but Leon floats over. Joe then hits a shoulder tackle and a hip toss. Joe then hits a DDT on Leon, and he gets a near fall. Dion and Miles then make their way to the floor. Dion then gets back in the ring while Joe gets Leon on his shoulders. Joe Hendry then gets a roll-up on Dion for it was close, almost a 3. Leon then hits a back heel kick on Dion. Leon then goes to the apron and hits a flip senton onto Joe Hendry. Leon gets almost another near fall on Dion after a cross body. So there's a lot of back and forth with this Fatal 4-Way. Who's going to be the number 1 contender to face Obafemi at New Year's Evil? Leon then pulls Dion into position and goes up top, but Dion rolls to the floor and Leon goes back to the mat. Leon then hits a pescado, but Dion moves and Leon appears to have hurt his knee. Uh-oh. That's not good for the TNA X Division champion, Leon Slater. He hurt his knee. Leon returns to the ring, and Dion hits a boot to the head. And then Miles Bourne gets involved, punches Dion. And then he punches Joe Hendry as well. Dion then hits a seated splash on Miles Bourne, and then he hits a lung blower on Joe, and everyone is down in the ring. Who is going to win this match? Dion then kicks Miles and gets a near fall. Dion then sends Leon shoulder first into the ring post. Dion then hits some kicks on Leon, hits a neck breaker. So let's get closer to the end of the match. Miles then slides to the floor. Dion then sends Miles into the announce desk. Joe then hits a clothesline and he sends Dion into the apron. The referee then checks on Leon. Dion sends Joe Hendry into the ring steps. Leon then kicks Lennox and he rolled into a Boston Crab. Miles and Joe Hendry then add cross faces on Dion Lennox. So there's 3 moves being applied to Dion Lennox at this point in time. Joe and Miles then hit clotheslines at the same time. Leon then hits a sidekick on Miles, and he pulls Miles into position. Joe then joins Miles on turnbuckles. Leon turns it into a sunset flip double powerbomb, while Joe and Miles hit a double superplex. Leon gets a near fall on Henry and also on Miles Bourne. Leon then gets a near fall on Dion Lennox. Back and forth here, guys. Leon then hits a forearm on Miles and a kick on Joe. This was a great match. Leon escapes. Joe hits a German suplex on Dion, but Leon then escapes and a standing ovation from Joe Hendry. Leon Slater then hits a Utopia on Joe, then hits a Tiger feint kick on Dion on the apron. Leon goes up top, and Dion Lennox rolls out of the way. Leon then sees where Dion is, and he hits a swanton onto Dion, and he goes back to the apron for a swanton 450 attempt. But Miles drop kicks Leon off the turnbuckles. It's a really good match here. Joe then blocks a suplex on Miles, and he hits a suplex, and then he hits a suplex on him. So Joe and Miles exchange some blows. Joe then hits a follow-away slam on Dion, and then he hits an Olympic slam, Kurt Angle style, on Miles, and then a standing ovation. He also hits a standing ovation on Miles. Joe catches Leon off the turnbuckle, and he press slams Leon into Dion Lennox on the floor. Joe Henry then hits a Uranagi, and he gets a near fall when Dion pulls him to the floor. TNA X Division champion Leon Slater then hits a swanton 450 on Miles Bourne for the 1-2-3. So we have our new number 1 contender going to New Year's Evil on January the 6th to face Obafemi for the men's NXT championship. So he did it. Leon Slater is a new number 1 contender. After the match, Big Joseph talks about how it's shocking to see the TNA X Division champion win the number 1 contenders match. WWE NXT champion Obafemi then makes his way out to confront Leon Slater. The camera zooms to the top of the bleachers to show Tony D'Angelo's at the top. So Tony D, I feel like, is going to get involved and maybe cost Obafemi this match. But that is our NXT for tonight. Next week, we're going to see Chelsea Green defend her United States Championship against Sol Ruka. We're going to see Lola Vice go one-on-one versus Izzy Dame. We're going to see the men's WWE men's speed title tournament start. And then we're also going to see Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray go one-on-one with Shannon Stacks and Ariana Grace. Can't wait. NXT just right now is like top notch. Like, I'm just loving some NXT at this point. But that is it, guys, for the NXT. We are 50 minutes in. Shout out to Wild Child Billy. Also, Lady Alpha from the Wrestling Divas podcast. As I mentioned before, earlier at the beginning of the stream, I will have both members of the Wrestling Divas podcast. It's already set in stone for the Royal Rumble prediction show. But I am also looking to add possibly Michael and Tori from Kicking Out at 2, and also Miami the Great and the Final Boss Baby from Talk It Up, the Talk It Up Wrestling Podcast. So we could have a 7-person monster Royal Rumble panel. See how it turns out. But as of now, it's me, Lady Alpha, and Autumn, the two ladies from the Wrestling Divas podcast. Shout out to them and DWE. Shout out to the Wise Man. Shout out to the world of Greg, who helps me with all of my videos. So that is it, guys, for the NXT recap. I will send you guys to the outro, and I'll be back to tell you where you can find me on my socials. Make sure you guys go in and vote. Please retweet. That vote is super close. I'm trying to bring this title back to DWE and Gimmick Table Media and get it away from the other side. That person has had the title for 7 months. This race is super close. But I'll be back shortly, guys.
CJP's your guy, let's start the show. Tag teams breaking, factions shaking. He's got the scoop for moves they're faking. Belt on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. Let's go, where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show is out of control.
Let's go. So that concludes my NXT recap show tonight. Let me get a little sneak peek so I can look at JC Jane for a second. There you go. Thank you to these. It looks like I have 60 viewers. Either on the EVP show, on Miami the Greats X, or on my X. I do appreciate you guys so much. So as far as my socials, you can find me on X at EVPCJP. It's at the bottom of the screen. Instagram as well at EVPCJP as well. And then you can also find me on TikTok. I am pretty active on TikTok now. You can find me on TikTok at Brady, BRADYDAGOAT 21, at Brady to Go 21. Appreciate you, Lady Alpha. I can't wait to for you and Autumn to come on for the Royal Rumble. And everyone, make sure to subscribe to the Wrestling Divas podcast. Those ladies put out excellent content. Thank you. Thank you, Wise Man. Good show. Good show. Thank you. I'm more worried about beating this person. I want to win the title and bring it back to DWE. Put it up on our mantle and Gimmick Table Media. So you can find me on TikTok at Brady the Goat 21. That's where the world of Greg sends me my videos. I post the videos on Instagram and TikTok to promote the streams. And most importantly, up in the top right hand corner, the world of Greg made that the little circle, the lightning with all the bolts and stuff. Subscribe to the EVP show at the EVP show. So if you guys go back and watch the stream, thank you guys for commenting on the YouTube portion and not just X. That helps get my streams into like all over the world, like get fresh eyes and ears on the product and on my content, and gets my channel in the algorithm. I wasn't able to drop any shorts from the NFL recap. Hopefully StreamYard cooperates and allows me to do it for the NXT recap tonight. So look for some shorts for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure to subscribe and like this video. And if there's any more comments I see, I will definitely go in and answer them. What I have coming up, I'm not much. 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks have been super hectic. So appreciate that, Wise Man. I'm definitely gonna get there, but I appreciate you stepping up for me, buddy. Friday night, I will be back. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday. I will not be on stream. I'm saving my voice. I'm gonna take 2 days off. I don't feel good anyway. Probably gonna sleep majority of the day tomorrow. not feeling great, but I'll be back Friday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap, as we will see the MFTs going up against the White Six. Next week, I've already got the streams out, except for SmackDown. It's the only one I haven't put out yet. Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me live on the EVP show for the Raw recap as Roxanne Perez goes one-on-one against Bailey, or if you're not looking forward to that, Rhea Ripley, the Eradicator, going one-on-one versus Asuka. And then Tuesday, it's a doubleheader again at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will be back with the CEO, the A1 from day one, Miami the Great, as we cover Week 16 of the NFL Week 16 recap show of the NFL at 6 p.m. next Tuesday. And I will be back at 10:30 p.m. next Tuesday night. We are getting so close to New Year's Eve for the NXT recap. And like I said earlier, we will see Chelsea Green go one-on-one for the United States title against Sol Ruka. The men's speed tournament will take place. Channing Stacks Lorenzo, not Channing. I'm thinking of Channing Tatum. What the hell am I talking about? Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Ariana Grace will face Shiloh Hill and Skylar Ray. And Lola Vice will go one-on-one with Izzy Dane. That will be next Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then I will be back again next Friday for what I do believe will be the last time that I will be going live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap, because starting January 2nd, SmackDown will move to 3 hours. So the EVP show for the SmackDown recap starting January 2nd will move to 11:30 p.m. Eastern. With that being said, guys, I appreciate everyone. Wise Man, the Word of Greg, Lady Alpha. Thank you for everything you guys do. Shout out to DWE and Giving Table Media and everyone involved in the process. I am the EVP from the EVP show, and I'm about to enjoy the next 2 days off and watch some YouTube myself and watch some football. A lot of football coming up. So you guys enjoy your Tuesday night, and I will see you guys Friday night at 10:30 p.m. on the EVP show for the SmackDown recap. And I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE. For John Cena, I'm out.